All right, listen up, everyone at home. This affects every single Australian. Just 7 days to go now until every household in the country has to complete the 2016 census. And be warned, failure to comply could mean you are hit with a record fine this year. It is time now for the Mixed Grill with Shelley Horton and Tim Gilbert. Lots to do about this year's census, Shelley. All your personal details kept on file for 4 years, which is much more than previously, I think 18 months in the past. Failure to fill out the form comes with a crippling $1,800 fine. Is this the most intrusive census ever?
No. It's a census and we need them. And all these people who are complaining just need to grow up and realise it's not me. We live in a society, we are part of a community, and we need this census to show where the funding needs to go for schools and housing and transport and hospitals. Like, really important stuff. You concerned about, they're going to have my name and number for 4 years? Who cares?
Are you worried, Tim?
Well, not really. I mean, most people know who we are anyway, so you've got to give that up pretty early when you work in this business. But look, my problem with it is that can't we look to an incentive-based reason for making people do it? Say, if you do this, you might get a slight tax break here or there, rather than say, stick. I think it's antagonistic. Of course, we need all that info, and of course, the census is important, but I just would like to see a little bit more creative thinking rather than saying, OK, you're going to get a fine, $180 every day. It's like this really aggressive way of trying to get people to sign on.
Tim, what about just doing it? Like, you don't need an incentive. It's part of living as an Australian in our society.
I agree with you. It should be done, but I just think we don't need to walk around with a wooden stick and whack people over the head all the time.
I think
How about we think a bit more creative?
There's too many people who are me, and so therefore, want to show that they're sticking it to the man by filling it out incorrectly. They should be fined.
Well, let's just get creative.
Let's open up this then, because I personally think there is a bit of an identity crisis in this country at the moment. Who are we? Who makes up Australia now? Our races, our religions, our everything, and in between. What do you hope to learn from this year's census, or what do you hope our government might learn from this year's census?
I would like to learn a bit more about religion, and I'm actually quite pleased that they have a non-religion section for the first time, because I used to just leave it blank because I'm not religious. But I would like to know, about the different religions and where they are in Australia, and also I just want to make sure that we are spending our money in the right areas. And people want to make sure that they're, near a hospital and things like that. Let's make sure that money goes to the right areas.
I'm a bit more flippant. I used to love the Guinness Book of Records. I just want to see whether we've reached 26 million, which city's the largest. I'm pretty basic with that.
It's quite fascinating though, isn't it, really? And our country changes at such a rapid pace. Moving on, Australia's university system has come under fire this morning with claims it's letting students down. A report warns there are simply too many qualified students leaving university and not enough jobs. Tim, a good degree but no job?
Look, I can only speak from my personal opinion or my personal experience. I did a communications degree, and look, to be honest, I don't know whether it helped me greatly in my chosen career. But what it did do, because I went to a single boys Catholic school, it made me grow up. It exposed me to a whole bunch of people that I never would have met. Now, I know that you can get that... 8 guys, 72 girls in our course. Which course am I going to do?
The odds are good, but the goods are on.
But you get where I'm coming from. I know you can get that in the workplace, but I like to see people follow on their education. I think another 3 years, regardless, maybe we sort of broaden it a little bit as to what subjects people do, but I like to see that extra education. Then jump in. It's a Melbourne Cup, not a golden slip of life, so get in, train, expose yourself, grow up, and then go out and work.
I don't know what a Melbourne Cup, not a golden slip of life
Melbourne
means.
Cup's a longer race, golden slip is a sprint.
You're in for the long haul.
That was in the sports part of your degree,
Exactly,
right?
yes. What are your thoughts, Shelley?
I think doing my journalism degree was the best thing I ever did. And for me, it's not just about getting the degree, it's about having some critical thinking, it's about learning to meet deadlines, it's about being responsible without your parents saying you have to do this. And I also think, there were never lots of jobs. It was never easy. So I don't think that you can say that we've got too many people with degrees and not enough jobs. There were never many jobs. So it's just one of those things where I think it makes you grow up, it makes you learn a bit more. And if you do have a debt for paying for your degree, it's about learning how to pay off that loan, and that again is a life skill.
I was hopeless with girls early too. I really needed
I find that
3
very
years.
hard to believe.
No, it
just
was.
did it
I
for
mean,
the
like,
social
look at
aspect.
this, you know. Why would you go to some fancy restaurant where this keeps coming up night after night? But I didn't know, girls. It took me a while to work it out.
Well, I'm glad you
There
had
you
your degree
go.
for that special time.
There are so many avenues, though, these days, right? You know, TAFE and
Yeah.
trades and things like that. But I think we want to be careful, too, not to devalue the value of a university degree and learning within the structures of an institution and an
Absolutely.
educational facility. But I think perhaps some universities could get with the times and integrate more work experience through the programs so that they are getting their foot in the door in a working environment and making contacts in the industry that they want to pursue, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, and a lot of them try to do that with work experience, don't they, in the later years of school and university. The hardest thing is for organisations to buy into it, because it's not always easy to say, OK, we can have 4 students hanging around, because quite often you've got people trying to be productive, so it needs to be all worked out.
All right, quickly in one word, Troy Sivan.
Glad I met him today.
Few words, but that's good. Timmy?
I can't give you one word. I just really like him. I think we saw today, and it was quite emotional, wasn't it? He's inspirational to a lot of young people, and I don't think that young person has to be under any category. He was a really impressive young man with a beautiful voice, and it was a really refreshing spirit in the studio this morning.
Yeah, that's a big lesson in life. Be true to yourself and be real, huh? We love you, Troy Sivan. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Still to come this morning, training with our Olympic...